These friends are hanging out at the end of a cul-de-sac when one of them, named Robert, loses his skateboard down a deep sewer grate. Most skaters would probably call it quits then and there, but Robert forces his way through the grate and soon becomes just as stuck as his board. They all laugh and make jokes as they wait for rescue workers to arrive, but as you can see by this nervous nail biting, the situation is much more serious than anyone is letting on. Firefighters are unable to pry open a nearby manhole cover. Thinking fast, they send a line down for Robert to grab and eventually fish him out that way. After the whole ordeal is over, one of the men explains that Robert is lucky to still be alive.
You know what's down there?
Not really, probably a lot of diseases.
Yeah, well, not only that, but there could be like chemicals that could kill you like that, dude. It's a sewer. You know what I'm saying?
This calm and professional explanation will hopefully make Robert think twice if this ever happens again. Real Victoria is woken up by her cat hissing at something it sees in the bedroom window. The cat goes quiet when she starts recording, but it's definitely focused on some activity outside. She says this creepy looking character was looking in through her window, and he very well may have been, but at 4 seconds he also seems to be looking up and trying to get the attention of someone in the room above him. In fact, I think I hear him shout something and whistle loudly at the beginning of this video. What is he saying here? Eventually, he steps away and out of sight. I guess he either saw the camera, or he finally got the attention of someone in the unit above. Whatever he was up to, having a complete stranger anywhere near where you live at 5 in the morning is oddly terrifying. With that said, I do believe her, and I hope real Victoria stays safe until her lease is up and she can get out of there. Christopher passes by a mysterious figure that everyone in the car thinks is really weird.
WRC edition dann ist der World Championship dead.
He's in the middle of the desert of an unnamed Arabic-speaking country and hasn't seen anyone in miles and miles. Christopher says he was worried this person might be stranded, but when he turns around to help, they were gone. Well, more like disappeared. That's really weird if they are telling the truth because there is nowhere to hide. They might be facing the camera and even reaching out to them at the 29-second mark. What do you think? I can't tell if this is a person or a ghost sighting. Are they asking for help? Robert Reddick has been waiting 2 weeks for this day to come, but now the deep web box has finally arrived and he is incredibly nervous. He contemplates not opening the box at all at first. Then Robert calls over some friends and the three of them dive in. The first thing they notice is a weird stain on the inside of the box, followed by an impossibly pungent smell that nearly bowls them over. They put on some gloves and keep going. Tucked beneath some bubble wrap are 2 handwritten letters that say "I'm sorry" repeatedly. A third letter says a single word, Shinigami, which I looked up the meaning of. This is the name for ancient supernatural creatures who were thought to shepherd humans to the afterlife in Japan mythology. There's a lot of weird stuff left to pick through, like a fishbowl that's filled with a bunch of thumbtacks and a single red lighter. There's also a 4th note waiting inside.
It is now your turn. Bury, don't burn. It is now you who is cursed. They wish you the worst. And then another "I'm sorry" now.
What are they talking about here? Boys.
I'm skipping past some items here, but eventually they come across a blank letter at the bottom of the box with a rather creepy hidden message.
Stop well. Stop well. You can. It says stop well you can.
Stop while you can.
They do not heed the warning and eventually happen upon a large plastic bag with something decomposing inside. It's hard to say whether these are just props or a true deep web mystery waiting to be unraveled. I think the 3 friends appear very creeped out by the end of the video, so it's probably real. But I'd like to know what you think of their reactions. Coltsfan210 posted the creepiest doorbell camera video ever on r/paranormal Reddit with one simple question. Why does this chair start rocking, he writes, adding that his brother gets quite scared when he turns around. I don't see anyone hiding behind the chair, but it's hard to tell because there's something in front of the chair and things look blurry. Colts fan 210 has no idea why the doorbell video is compressed and pixelated. It has never looked that way before or since, only this one time. Paranormal interference from a spirit in the chair could be one reason why. Paranormal explorer Thiago Ferracao returns to the Benzedeiras house in this scary video, published in May of 2022. Legend has it that Maria began by doing good, blessing people, but ended by taking her own life after she started doing dark magic rituals. Ever since, her house has been haunted, and Thiago is on a mission to spend the night there. As he enters, someone is standing in an adjacent room. Before he can step inside, the door slams in his face. Is it Maria?
Meu Deus! Ai, foi isso?
When Thiago pushes his way into the room, no one is there. Checking out the corner in which she was standing, they hear an animal in the room.
Cara, tem bicho ali, ó. Oi, é uma aranha. Você tá vendo?
Then it seems like the animal goes after Thiago. Later, as they attempt to communicate with Maria via a spirit box, they hear this.
Que foi isso? Vai.
They continue throughout the house, trying to convince Maria that they are not there to hurt her, but she does not seem convinced.
Vem pra minha esposa. Thiago.
When the door finally stops banging, they open it. They leave the house wishing Maria peace, but does she wish peace upon them? This video seems like just an image of a gator at the start, with its jaw wide open, staring blankly, completely motionless. But it's not a photo. That becomes clear when the camera zooms in closer to the gator's eye, and it starts backing up angrily, its jaw even wider. Then it goes berserk in the tunnel, clambering towards the camera, until the camera pulls away. The gator then approaches slowly, biting on a cord. After backing away again, the camera approaches the wide-mouthed, sharp-toothed creature once more. The eyes, the scales, the teeth. There's nothing about this that isn't chilling to the core. But what is a camera doing up close and personal down in a sewer anyway? Mike Kruger in the comments section of this video seems pretty knowledgeable on the subject. He wrote that the camera was doing a condition assessment of the storm sewer. He noted that behind the alligator, you can see the swamp. The tired gator simply clambered into the pipe to have a sewer nap, that is, until his nap was so rudely interrupted. A YouTuber named Bradinator conducts a risky social experiment to see what would happen if he pretends to be a Russian hitman in public. Bradinator doesn't actually speak Russian, but that doesn't stop him from walking around in a black suit and sunglasses, speaking on his phone in a made-up Russian-sounding language. This alone is enough to draw some weird looks, but I think what alarms people the most is the steel briefcase he carries around and repeatedly makes a big deal over.
Excuse me, did anybody touch this case? Okay, thank you.
He never says it outright, but Bradinator seems to imply that something bad could be inside the briefcase, maybe even a device ready to blow. Watch this part and tell me what you would have done if you randomly encountered this briefcase laying there.
Oh, excuse me, sir. Watch out for the briefcase. Watch out. That's nothing. Don't.
At one point, he apparently creates enough of a scene for the police to come and give him a stern warning. Listen to this part and tell me if you think it's real.
I was just with my friend. I'm gonna show him a Russian hit my prank.
You come back, I'm gonna take you to jail.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
The voice of the police officer sounds kind of young, and the radio dispatch sounds like it could be a sound effect. Then again, they do briefly record a police car with its lights on, so maybe they really did get told to knock it off by the cops. Someone is fast asleep when the curtains go crazy and orbs begin flying in reverse. Eventually, they peel back to reveal some kind of figure who I thought was wearing a robe at first, but actually looks like it has hollow eyes at 1 minute and 20 seconds. At 2 minutes, this terrible symphony begins to play, but it sounds like it might be Bluetooth speakers. It begins to rain outside, and this ghoulishly pale figure follows the man's gaze and looks straight at the camera. The man somehow doesn't seem to notice anything for way too long, not even when its whole hand extends out to him, so I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume this might be staged, but it's still terrifying nonetheless. If you saw this on the horizon, you may think some serious stuff is going down. Posted to the Very Spooky Video subreddit by RavenTexX, the Redditor writes, "Is this recent? Looks real." The footage shows a dark and stormy scene with heavy clouds on the horizon, and in their midst a blinding beam of light. The light brightens and recedes more, but stays in the sky for quite some time before zapping out, leaving the night in total and utter darkness. While life forms outside of this planet could very well exist, some Redditors have other explanations. Greg the Chief writes, "It could be a transformer. I worked as an electrician the past few years. I never saw something that size, but electric energy has more power than most people think. Since I'm not an electrician, I wouldn't know for sure, but that sounds like a pretty rational explanation." These paranormal investigating YouTubers traveled to a movie theater in Sagan, Texas, to take their chances with the ghost of a girl who repeatedly scratches the staff at random. It isn't long before they hear not footsteps, but rather a single footstep, which is somehow even more unnatural and unnerving. Listen and watch. No one else is around.
I'm come here to communicate with whoever lives here.
They keep hearing and seeing things that aren't quite showing up on camera. Short flashes of movement out of the peripheral vision that go away when they try to look. But this part, taken in the back right of the theater at 7 minutes in a section where they keep hearing most of the noise, seems to show someone in the seats looking back at them.
Man, there's some serious creaking going on these steps right here.
The face has no detail, even though these are good quality cameras with night vision, and the head looks nearly see-through, almost like the after image of someone who can only exist through sheer willpower and nothing more. Exploring with Devin is a YouTube channel full of mini adventures and gaming vids. This time, Devin is biking along the side of the road when he sees this creepy old abandoned house waiting to be explored. Soon, a full-grown adult appears in the overgrown front lawn and questions him while walking forward.
What are you doing in here?
I just wanted to explore.
What are you stealing?
No, I just wanted to explore.
He accuses Devin of taking from his property, even though it looks like there is nothing worth taking. Who knows what would have happened if he reached Devin, or how exactly he plans to search him. Once he gets a good distance away, Devin says that he didn't take anything, and that the man is trespassing anyway. The property looks abandoned, but the man does check his mailbox while he is out there, so he either does own this property or has completely lost his mind. 3 photos and videos were shared on Facebook in Indonesia, showcasing the same strange phenomenon in the sky, posted by Mr. Potek in November of 2019, with a video credited to Setiawan. The unidentified object was filmed in Aceh, backlit by a bright moon. This mysterious flying or floating object appears to just hang there at the side of the moon. The object isn't shaped like a flying saucer, but its origins are equally as mysterious, viewed at several different angles. I don't come any closer to recognizing what this object is. The local police were reportedly terrified by its appearance. Should they be? What do you think it is? Carmen's home is more haunted than ever by the previous owner, a man who lived there for 50 years and whose spirit refuses to go away anytime soon. I've covered Carmen on this channel before, but she has sent me more video evidence in an exclusive update you'll only find on Chills. The more she communicates with the apparition in her home, the more it seems to understand her. These videos were taken on 3 different spirit boxes, and the same male voice talks to her each time.
I'm gonna turn this off and listen, okay? I'm gonna listen. Holy.
Also, just no problem.
Should we talk?
We should talk. I'm trying to talk to you. Is there a demon in my house? Can you tell me what color my shirt is?
Really don't know exactly.
Over time, its powers grow, and it seems to feed off her energy and the attention it receives.
What's your name? And the flashlight went on.
And after a while, it doesn't even need paranormal equipment to whisper to her at night. One night, while opening the front door, she discovers what it is that wants her to feel such fear. A shadow figure with demon horns stands over her for a split second, and then it's gone. And then there's this unexplained lights that follow her from room to room. I thought she was shining a flashlight against the wall, but look again. It starts out small at 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Then it gets in her face and goes away. At no point do you see a ray of light coming from her flashlight, because she's not holding one. If this is random dust, then explain why it's popping out of the chest of this creepy doll and heading straight towards her camera. The paranormal activity seems to be growing more intense, so I'll keep you updated with new events as soon as they happen, which I'm sure they will be soon. And if you're wondering why Carmen gives the ghost so much attention, it's because ignoring it apparently puts it in a foul mood and causes even worse things to occur. These 2 unidentified flying object sightings are eerily similar, posted on Reddit by Gamers Again. These 2 sightings from Miami and Beijing are comparative. The first appeared in Beijing on February 3rd, 1995. The unidentified flying object hovers as an illuminated yellow disc in the evening sky. After a while, it starts to glide slowly overhead. Gamers Again posts a second video in the comments, one which looks similar to the first but was captured on October 20th, 1995. This unidentified flying object was spotted along a freeway. The driver pulled over to capture it hovering near an apartment complex and then over Miami Airport. Gamers Again suggests that today, unidentified flying objects aren't seen as often for a reason. His theory? They have become more cautious, and further said, they seem to be extremely aware of us observing them, and above all, they don't want to be compromised. What do you think? It makes sense to me, and these 2 sightings are certainly quite similar. A group of friends are poking around just outside of the legal limits of Area 51 when they make a strange discovery. At first, the creature appears to blend in with the scenery, but look closely and you can make out a long head and a curly tail.
Super slow too.
What is that, dude?
Did it just change shape?
Yes. Look at this, dude. Look, look, look.
The creature stands up and appears to turn towards them. It must have a very good sense of hearing because its body language suggests that it has been startled by them. Suddenly, it disappears in a thin lay of bright white light, never to be seen again. If aliens can escape this easily, it's no wonder why they have rarely been filmed. Another explanation for this video, of course, is the possibility of CGI. While visiting Old Smoky Mountain Cemetery, YouTube crew the G-Team Paranormal are quickly met with paranormal activity. Straight away, they get a reading on their paranormal device.
Right there. Wow. This is incredible.
And that reading becomes more distinct.
Look.
Yep. Oh, I see them. Mm-hmm.
You see them?
I see them. Almost looks like a third person.
The spirits seem to be congregating next to their headstones.
Someone's standing next to the headstone.
Right next to the headstone, yes.
Leaning on it or something.
Although the camera doesn't pick it up clearly, the ladies hear footsteps approaching.
She hears footsteps crunching. I hope it ain't a bear coming. Oh, I did.
Then, while in their vehicle, the car's reverse sensor is triggered, but there's no one behind them.
What?
What the heck?
I don't know. What is going on? It's sensing something behind us.
What the hell?
I don't know.
There's a mysterious whisper in the darkness here, though. And before they know it, they've picked up a hitchhiking spirit.
Made me want to come here. Oh, why did all my just fall? My up here on my visor just kind of flew down. What the hell?
Patty even seems to spot one on the road.
Whoa, I'm not even gonna back up. There was somebody standing back there in a white shirt. I'm not even kidding you. Unless I'm not gonna back up, guys. I can't.
I didn't see anything, but something strange is definitely going on here. Whether a spirit has attached or not is anyone's guess. Sometimes while ghost hunting, it's not the ghosts you have to worry about. Published by Proving Demons, this scary encounter with a live human occurred while investigating this abandoned home. Early on, they sensed something inside of the house. After deciding there's no one there, they continue their investigation and end up recording this rather harsh whisper.
Yeah.
That's that harsh whisper.
Someone doesn't want them there. And soon after blowing a special type of whistle, it's clear exactly who that is. The ghost hunters abandon everything inside and race off. Would you be able to get your stuff or write it off as a loss?
I've got a flashlight. I've got a flashlight.
Have you heard of spontaneous combustion? That's one theory about what's happening here. Published in May of 2022, Hassan Barbar is investigating this creepy abandoned structure at night. He turns away for a moment to look into this mysterious empty room without any floorboards. When he turns back, a bag on the floor has caught fire somehow. He watches as the flame smolders and continues to grow.
نار. ايش يعني هيك؟ ايش يعني تحرقني مثلا؟
It burns the bag away until there's little left, but ash by the time Hassan puts it out with a ceramic plank. Now the question is, who or what started the fire? I have a feeling Hassan is not alone in this abandoned building.
I know. Look, that's actually so creepy, dude. There's a guy right there, and I'm kind of freaked out, not gonna lie.
Blake Gray fears he's captured, something that would terrify all of us behind the dumpster of an abandoned building while exploring. His brave friend slowly creeps up.
He started moving.
So obviously this was a skit that was pre-planned, right? Wrong. Let's analyze what they were wearing on the day they captured this mysterious figure. Ripped jeans, skinny jeans, blue jean shorts. The mysterious stranger is wearing khakis. So yeah, this creepy event is scary and most importantly could be real. The person is still alive, but to what degree is unknown. A twitch of the leg could mean asleep or barely alive. If this is real, then I hope they notified the proper authorities to come make sure whoever this is still alive. April and Kevin of a YouTube channel called AK Explorations team up with some of their ghost hunting friends to take on the Florida Grand Opera House, a historic location established in 1884 that is rumored to have acquired quite a few spirits over the past 135 years. April stands behind the scenes and gazes upon a row after row of empty seats. She's busy taking in the sights when she captures this paranormal moment on camera. At 4 minutes and 48 seconds, a shadow figure walks between the red curtains on the other side of the opera. I was thinking that this could have just been the shadow of one of the other people she was with, except for 3 things. First, there's also a passing shadow on her side of the room at 4 minutes and 46 seconds. It happens next to her, and exactly 2 seconds before it happens again on the other side of the room. Second, there's a really weird noise before the shadow person appears. She kinda makes a sigh, but there's also like a shrieking noise or something at the same time. Third of all, these orbs appear when she tries to tell Kevin about the experience.
Who's back there? I waited. I saw someone walk back there.
Next, they go to the balcony seats, and a strange feeling overtakes April at 7 minutes and 27 seconds.
Weird up here, guys. Let's sit here for a minute. Actually, here for a minute.
This strange white anomaly appears 2 seconds after she says she doesn't feel normal up here. It does look like a floating hair, but it also kind of looks like a phantom outline walking down the steps. The feeling grows so strong that she needs to step away and regather her thoughts. She turns around and is sure she's being watched again, and I'm almost sure I see the curtains move right where she believes it to be.
Guys, it feels really weird. Right here. Chelsea's doing her awfulest down there.
When AK Explorations aren't exploring fancy operas, they are usually busy investigating much less sophisticated haunts, like this chicken farm in the middle of nowhere. Eyes are on them from afar before they've even stepped foot inside, hopefully those of a wild animal rather than a restless spirit, though probably the latter based on what they soon encounter.
Middle of the night, by ourselves.
April immediately feels watched as they enter the abandoned home. She turns around and her light barely manages to catch more eyes, along with whatever this is.
Sorry, I heard something behind me.
It's a different color than the surrounding green plants, and it looks much closer than anything else, possibly even on the porch with her. She doesn't notice and moves on. Inside, all of the windows are blacked out so that no light gets through. Though I don't know why anyone would choose to do this, and I was hoping you might have a reason for it. In the corner of the living room is a knotted rope surrounded by flies. I don't know what happened here, but I'm glad they didn't check to see what's inside the black garbage bag right next to the rope. Next, April and Kevin sweep over the house with a black light to see if there are any signs of a struggle. Sure enough, at 10 minutes and 33 seconds, they find a red stain on the bed that is not visible without their equipment. A second similar red stain is found on the mattress at 10 minutes and 42 seconds, so something happened here. A noise interrupts April right as she suspects someone could still be in here.
Do you hear that?
I'll admit that I didn't hear anything at first, but soon a strange hum fills the air. This house has no power, so nothing should be humming at all. You really hear it at 11 minutes and 30 seconds.
Babe, come here. Oh, come here, let's go here.
The noise guides them to one room in particular. Something in their mind tells them not to go any further. A sixth sense warning that danger is near. April reasons that the floor might not be able to support their weight, but I'm pretty sure they felt the presence of whatever this is.
Is this just, you think it's safe to walk on?
It's a noise they do not hear until they watch the video much later. Looking back, all they knew was that it was time to leave. Imagine going out for a relaxing day on the beach and seeing this mysterious figure walking just a couple of miles away. This tall man with a bright white head and all black clothes walks towards the water as if nothing is out of the ordinary. I will add that this area looks pretty lonely, and there's really no reason for anybody to dress up like Slenderman as a prank here. It's too bad the person filming wasn't able to get any closer, though I can certainly respect their desire to keep as much space as possible. A YouTuber named Charles M is checking out an old house for sale in Las Vegas that was supposedly owned by the mafia. At one point during the tour, he comes across a fake wall in the kitchen and follows an old set of stairs down to a secret basement. The basement extends for a long time further and further underground, eventually opening up into a long white room that's completely bare, except for cabinets lining the far wall. Connected to this room are two other smaller rooms about the size of a closet. They each give him a bad feeling. The two smaller rooms are dark and soundproof. Strangest of all, the doors only have knobs on the outside. I don't know why the mob would have needed a soundproof room that nobody could escape from, and I don't want to know. That's all he finds. Hidden inside the ventilation shaft of one of the rooms is what appears to be a single spent bullet casing. Two friends stand in a creepy gray shed in the middle of the night to see who's the bravest. At approximately 3 a.m. they hear a quick sawing motion on the other side of the wall they're standing by, followed by some white orbs.
In the morning, and it's pretty creepy. What the was that you?
No.
Was that you?
No.
When they go outside to investigate, the door slams behind them, except there's just one problem. There's no door and there never was.
What the f, man?
But now they're freaking out, but neither wants to be the first to leave, so they go back inside. Then when they are standing in the center of the room, talking about a little girl who supposedly haunts this place, they hear the noise again, this time from the far corner.
Girl, yeah, whatever. Oh, what the f, man? Nah, what the f.
At this point, bravery is the last things on their minds as they both escape. Some run away from ghosts, others give chase. Posted to the very spooky video subreddit, this mysterious figure appeared on some railroad tracks, and these kids decided to follow it. In the scary video, the figure in white moves, swaying up ahead. As it tries to escape, the group of children that are following it, they get very close, but it moves faster along. They cross a bridge, but the figure still keeps ahead of them. At some point, many of the kids start crying, and the figure moves off the tracks and down a hill, where it vanishes in the darkness. Many in the comments are saying even if the figure isn't a ghost, it is creepy. And they don't trust it. Do you? I certainly don't. A YouTuber named Vicky Short offers this creepy home CCTV video as paranormal evidence of a haunted house. It's 4:26 in the morning when a scary event happens that is caught on CCTV. Two books falling off the shelf, seemingly with no one around. Vicky says the haunted household objects moved on their own, but the alleged paranormal activity happens in a corner that the camera can't really see very well, so I'm not sure if it's real or fake. This could be a ghost moving the books, or it could be someone moving them off camera. But when the two lights mysteriously flash from a surge of energy across from where the books fell, it makes them suspect that paranormal activity is occurring after all. This leaked video is reportedly taken by two friends somewhere in the United States. Their dog Jake starts to bark with excitement and really doesn't seem to want to go any further. Watch how the animal crosses directly in front of their snowmobile multiple times, almost like he's warning them to stop and turn around. The two friends don't really think much of it and keep going straight, and that's when they come face to face with it. A nearby tall gray creature sends them racing away. The alien-like creature doesn't make much of a sound at all, or at least not one that the camera can pick up, but I do think I can see its head turn towards them at the 2-minute and 20-second mark. The way the dog is acting before this happens also makes me believe this leak video could be real. Multiple instances of objects moving on their own has a YouTuber named Callum Tonner convinced that his Seattle house is haunted by a fearsome poltergeist. Lots of bizarre activity is frequently caught on camera, so I'm going to analyze the top 5 videos of best paranormal evidence. In the first weird video, he claims to find a coat hanger swinging back and forth in the closet. I will say that they could have pushed the object themselves before recording and then pretended it was a ghost. Normally I would say this video is fake, except this is far from the only scary event in which objects were caught on camera moving on their own, and the other videos are much harder to explain. Later that night, with the haunted closet behind him and its doors open, a completely different object is caught moving on camera on its own.
What was that?
Even if he were moving a magnetic object under the table, I still don't think it would be strong enough to move the other objects through the heavy wooden desk. He creates the paranormal experiment again 4 nights later, and if you weren't able to tell what the 2 objects are, it's a flashlight moving across a phone that's turned on. And here's the thing, any magnetic force strong enough to move an object that large should also cause damage to the phone, which it doesn't. The phone is fine, and therefore I think a ghost is moving the flashlight. 4 more nights later, the ghost has apparently taken to shuffling through his private card collection. And even more haunting, paranormal activity is caught on camera without any explanation. If you were thinking that he bent the cards or something to make them fall over, but not what's happening, you can see more of the cards in this video. They look perfectly straight and evenly balanced, so tell me how these sturdy objects are caught on tape moving. Paranormal activity is all I can think for these super creepy and mysterious events, but I'm open to any other explanation. A garbage man in New York City leaked this video online to show us a scary side of the industry that we were never meant to see. He needs to pull this dumpster down an alley to the garbage truck. Most of us would walk right up and grab the handle, but the veteran worker does something important first. He kicks the dumpster and waits. That's because out here you can get surrounded by a mob of rats. If you walk up to their territory without giving them a heads up, kicking makes them scatter away.
Come on, bro. Come on. Get your stuff together and get out of here. Get all your boys. Tell all your boys, let's go. Yeah.
This dumpster must not have much food in it because only a few run away, instead of dozens like normal. Now comes the hard part.
Now we're going to attempt to move the can.
He gives a sharp tug and lets go. When nothing confronts him, he proceeds. He gets halfway down the alley when something creepy decides to make his day twice as difficult.
Still. Come on, bro. You gotta go. Can't go back in there.
This one is smaller than the rest, but it's stuck around longer than the others and seems twice as territorial. It starts to run away and then it gets another idea. I'm not sure if he fell over or dropped the camera, but the rat, scared and caught up in the moment, jumped straight at him. It looks like an aggressive move rather than just trying to get away. That rat did not want to give up its dumpster. This is why garbage men are paid more than teachers. Jokes the top comment of this video. I'm not sure if this statement is true, but after seeing this video, do you agree with it or not? And if this is how crazy just one rat acts, imagine how scary it would be to get chased down an alleyway by a whole swarm of them. Talk about a tough and thankless job. Become a storm chaser or head to the cellar. This homeowner did both when the Cedar Rapids derecho storm blew into his neighborhood. Published to YouTube by E. Hindman in August of 2020. This footage shows a quick as lightning storm roll in, one that devastated Iowa for hundreds of miles around. Hinman said he daringly took some footage of the storm out his window, setting up a camera there before safeguarding himself in the basement. What he captured was half an hour of one of the most brutal storms you'll ever see. The video shows the storm rile up ferociously, wind and rain whipping through while tree branches roll like tumbleweed down the road. At some point the trees are just being thrown full stop. The sturdy looking pine that stands in Hinman's front yard, which has made it this far, doesn't make it out alive. Its stump breaks clean in half and another larger tree falls across the yard. They are blown away with the others. Hindman writes, the damage in this area of Iowa was like being hit by a 40-mile wide tornado. The storm took 4 lives, cut off power to nearly the entire city, contributed to the record-tying $16 billion worth of weather damage that impacted the US last year, according to the Washington Post. This was submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Skateboard Chris. The Redditor wrote, I accidentally deleted the raw video and not the TikTok that automatically saved, but this is the second time I've caught a light switch turning off and on by itself. My dog reacts too, and when the video zooms in, it does appear that the light switches turn on and off of their own accord. Hawaii Sunburnt 20 commented, I would be taking apart that light switch. Would you be curious enough to do the same? I'd be getting far away from this haunted house. A girl and the person filming were innocently playing around outside, but they were not alone. Published to YouTube in May of 2019, nightmares abound after watching this video, which is gaining attention in the Spanish-speaking YouTube community. The clip shows a girl playing with a ball outside a yellow fenced-in building. She runs up to the fence, behind which a pair of swings are wrapped together in knots. After a moment, the girl points at something or someone behind the camera person, who turns around to see what she's indicating. There is no one in the distance across the field, but there is someone right behind her. The ghoul of a girl appears semi-transparent as the camera shot falls. We can only imagine the camera person fled in fear from this thing she was not meant to see. Tag, you're it. Game over. A YouTuber named Johnny B. Good goes ghost investigating at an underground memorial deep in the woods to see if they can uncover any evidence of the paranormal. They notice these rocks are in a strange formation that I think could have been used for some kind of black magic.
These rocks were placed here in a circle once, in this one corner. Why is there a hole right there?
Sure enough, holes are in 2 corners of the room. Could this be part of the spell? They ask if this place is a portal, and look what their K2 meter does in response.
Is that a gateway to you?
Yeah, okay.
And here's where it goes from creepy to downright sinister. Their UV light detects 2 blotches of fluid. They could have come from some kind of vein opening ritual that never should have been. This car is making its way down the BKE Expressway in Singapore when it manages to catch the split-second image of what could be a paranormal hitchhiker searching for its next ride. The ghostly presence looks too tall to be a normal human being, and its limbs look too long as well. Though I guess this stretched appearance could be an optical illusion from being captured at a high rate of speed. Some people even say it looks like they are floating. I want to hear your opinion, so let me know if you agree. There's some terror to be had in this abandoned structure. Published by Terror El Extremo, this paranormal explorer first encounters these creepy bats hanging upside down like untransformed vampires. The ambiance is set now, and it grows as the cameraman comes across this piece of artwork painted on a stone wall. Is this divining what will come? When he continues to explore the area, suddenly he hears a scream. This is accompanied by what sounds like a blast or some other loud noise. Who is screaming out in this remote wilderness? And what was the sound that followed? Which one of us volunteers to wait around and find out? Pete Privy is perfectly piloting a drone in the parking lot, at least until the time comes to land. His friend is demonstrating how to grab one out of midair, but he turns around while talking, and a propeller socks him right in the eye. At 10 seconds in, you can see his friend grab his face and then stumble away in surprise. Someone hurries closely behind, ready to catch him if he passes out from the blow, and the video ends. This picture shows how closely Pete's friend came to losing an eye. I think a hit any higher would have cost him his sight. As Pete says, the moral of the story is that caution is always required around drones, so never let your guard down unless you want to look like this. A YouTuber named Tommy Case is in the basement of an abandoned house when his flashlight crosses over someone wearing an all black and white stretched out face mask. Tommy Case runs away, but soon he has to turn his flashlight back on if he ever hopes to find the exit. Instead, he finds the same person again, but this time he manages to escape without looking back. Since the person just stands there and never reaches out for him, I think this is almost definitely a skit, but a well done one all the same. Donnie and Tony partner up to form a freaky ghost hunting channel called Daunton Paranormal. This time the pair are exploring a spooky cemetery known only as the Labyrinth. Exact location unknown. What they found in this haunted place is beyond words and without explanation. Watch the far doorway and you'll see it too. The thing that weirded them out for life.
I'm pulling.
As you can see, a tall figure blocks the top of the stairs. When they get too close, the peculiar shadow curiously disappears. After reviewing the evidence, Daunton Paranormal wonders if they've actually captured a real ghost on video. They didn't notice the creepy shadow until reviewing the tape much later. The shadow figure looks creepy and appears to have no natural source, at least not one from our side of this world. Tell me if you think this was a true sighting, and more importantly, if you would be brave enough to go up to that door and face whatever that was. I don't think I could ever return for a follow-up investigation, but I hope they do. iMade has braved his past through many supernatural situations in the past and expects exploring this haunted place will be no different. He reaches the top without problem. Leaving the haunted building, however, is not so easy.
فهمتش هذه كيفاش وصلت لهنايا؟ أعوذ بكلمات الله أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق.
At 7 minutes and 40 seconds, a shadow person. He loses sight of the figure, but it's back soon enough.
محمد أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق.
And if you're wondering why the scream sounded so close, I think it's because the shadow person might have actually been standing right next to him at 11 minutes and 52 seconds to let loose in his ear. Undeterred, the Urbex explorer pursues the shadow person deeper into the haunted place.
هاد المونيكا عاوتاني هنايا وتتحرك، اقسم بالله حتى كتحرك. اعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق أعوذ بكلمات الله التامة من شر ما خلق أعوذ بكلمات الله التامة من شر ما خلق أعوذ بكلمات الله التامة من شر ما خلق راه هي الإخوان أعوذ بكلمات الله التامة من شر ما خلق.
Creepy dolls are moving on their own, and scary voices are screaming from the darkness. The shadow figure is leading him somewhere sinister.
أعوذ بكلمات الله التامة من شر ما خلق. شوفوا الخوش شنو هادشي هذا؟ أعوذ بكلمات الله التامة من شر ما خلق أعوذ بكلمات الله التامة من شر ما خلق قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم تجهدي.
Everyone has their limit when it comes to paranormal activity, and iMaid seems to have reached his. Alone and outnumbered, he flees the spirits screaming before they make him join their silent ranks. I think that the scream might be an audio sample because it sounds the same every time, so maybe this video, however bizarre, isn't real after all. A YouTuber named Michael Luzzi returns to Split Rock Road in New Jersey to a spot where he claims a person once stood behind him and disappeared. Down a creepy old country trail, they see a light that looks like it could be coming from one of their phones or something, except there's a second light way higher up.
Oh, there's a light over there. Yo, what the heck? What is that?
I don't think they belong to a radio tower or any other type of utility service because approximately 4 seconds later, the lights seem to move to the right of the tree. The eerie phantom lights return at 7 minutes and 45 seconds. Watch this part and give me your best rational explanation as to what this is, because I haven't even a guess. And less than a minute later, they see something way worse than lights, something that sends them running back to the car.
That noise is definitely coming from over here somewhere. Oh, so what the f?
The faint outline of a person materializes against the dark backdrop of nothingness. They do happen to be hanging out with a third friend, who is wearing dark clothes though, so while it could be him, for some reason I seriously doubt it. This video is from a camping trip that Emery Buckner and his friends took back in 2010. After introducing each of his friends by name, something catches Emery's eye. He zooms in on a small clearing in the woods that's just up ahead, and that's when he sees it for the first time.
Guys, what is that?
I think it is.
Yeah, I think it's...
What's what, brother?
Seriously, guys, there's something I seriously saw something over there, Tom.
None of his friends manage to see it, but Emery encourages them to stay still and keep looking. Then, sure enough, the red glowing eyes return.
Guys?
What? Oh my gosh.
What is that?
Oh my.
That's it. That's it. Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
They waste little time retreating to their boat and speed away to safety. But just before they take off, Emery catches the creature a final time. It's now casually observing the group while perched in a tree, its head cocked to the side, its faint outline barely visible behind a pair of glowing red eyes. Gabby Licht has seen a ghost. Published in September of 2018, Gabby shares her ghost story while also showing footage she captured on camera. The scary video shows the door of her room opening and closing slightly, back and forth. She also says the knob is jiggling.
When I had a ghost experience, but I'll put the video here. You can kind of see the handle just like wiggling back and forth, and it's kind of weird. It didn't freak me out that bad, but it's kind of strange to have it on video. I showed my parents and it freaked my mom out, but I've had other stuff happen, so it was just kind of interesting to get that one on video. But this next one, I guess...
Gabby has been experiencing the paranormal for something like 8 years now, and this is just one event she captured on video. Is something trying to communicate with her? It sure seems that way to me. The big question is, what is it saying? At first, Redditor Dawn Granger believes this sound was in her imagination, but then she recorded it. Listen closely. It sounds like a strangled scream. Some in the comments think it's just air escaping a container of some kind. Others think it's a trapped animal. I wouldn't rule out a portal to the fiery depths below, but those two theories also seem likely. This sound is for sure something you don't want to be imagining. Mike Cass once used his drone to track the whereabouts of a clown on the loose in his hometown of Carlsbad, California. First, he finds someone who may or may not have been in a clown outfit wandering around this blown out building. It's somewhat difficult to tell from this distance, but I think they could be wearing one. Mike eventually finds this building, but no one's there, yet it looks like a strange man could have been behind him all along. Mike doesn't find another trace of them for almost a full year. Then one random flight session, it's back.
Yeah, so basically,
And once again, the hunt is on. This clown has been surprisingly good at hiding in the past, but Mike's drone sees it all. 4 days later, it finds itself cornered. I'm surprised Mike was able to see it, because I think it blended in well and looked like an animal at first.
Yo, what is that? Probably nothing. Yo, what the heck? Yo, oh my god, look at this.
With its bright red hair, I was wondering how this clown was able to hide it all, but when it lays down, it seems to only show black parts of its outfit. This would actually be impossible to see if you were on the ground, especially if you weren't looking. Walking by a clown lying in wait is not something I want to think about for long. Mike Cass chases it into the woods until power lines force him to back off. After being chased like that, the clown must have picked other places to stay because it was never seen or heard from again. A YouTuber named Mikey Mamps became fascinated with the legends of Clinton Road, a haunted place in New Jersey where everything from psychos to phantom trucks are said to chase people and sometimes even end lives. After an unsuccessful night of ghost hunting, Mikey Mamps decides to pilot his drone down the road during the daytime, figuring that the noise would attract the attention of whatever's out there. Sure enough, this odd fellow is walking down Clinton Road. It almost connects with the drone before Mikey flies out of range, at which point the clown takes off. Aside from the bright wig, their outfit blends in with the scenery surprisingly well, and they easily manage to slip away, knowing exactly where to hide. It's impossible to see where it is until it steps out for an ambush at the time of its choosing, a tactic I'm sure it's tried on countless people before. Mikey manages to avoid another rock, and the clown, realizing it's been outsmarted, decides to run again. It seems like it's been caught for sure, but then it does something that gives Clinton Road its supernatural reputation.
Where'd you go?
It seemingly disappears. Lizzie Arts is freaked out in her own home because a ghost is haunting her.
Just woke up to smoke alarm.
Weird things are caught on camera all of the time. Really creepy stuff like when the ghost kept setting off the smoke alarm all night.
I'm home alone. I know which one it is. It's my one. It's right over there.
The ghost seems to turn the smoke alarm on upon her mention.
We have 2 more smoke alarms in the house. There it goes again.
And instantly stops when she yells at it.
You need to stop that! I know, that scares me.
There are 2 other smoke alarms that the ghost is not bothering with, just this one by her room. I think she should try changing the batteries and see if it still happens. If that doesn't solve it, then that means this video is really paranormal with more creepy videos to follow, I'm sure. A fire to warm the darkness isn't always a good thing. Posted on TikTok by official GPT and Instagram by GPT official, this clip was captured during the Ghost Panic team's live stream. The footage shows a man shouting into the wilderness. At first, you don't know what's going on as he spins around, but after a time, you see a figure perched in a nearby tree. The figure blends in with its surroundings until it lowers its arms. Then you can distinctly see its face, hair, and body as it remains perched on its limb. As the man talks to it, the figure stands up. Then inexplicably, a fire is lit at its feet. The cameraman quickly flees the scene. It's unclear what the figure was and how the fire was lit, but by the cameraman's panicked reaction, I have an idea that this figure was nothing less than evil. This highway footage comes from Britain and is about 10 years old. It looks like just another normal night until an unknown creature comes scampering across 4 lanes of traffic in less than 5 seconds. It almost looks like a deer or dog at first, but a closer look shows you that its legs bend inwards at an odd angle. Its front and back legs nearly touch as it runs, almost like a cheetah, but such an animal, of course, is impossible to see in a place like Britain. The YouTube community seems to be split on this one. Some people insist that it's CGI, but others say that the footage is authentic. Even when zoomed and slowed down, the monster appears to jump over the median at the right time and narrowly avoids getting hit by the car. No other cameras have managed to pick it up since, or if they did, then the footage was never released to the public. A person checks their CCTV to catch whoever busted their side view mirror. It's on the sidewalk side, and therefore absolutely couldn't have been a car. The video does not end at all as expected, when a phantom force snatches the mirror and gives it a twist. Then again, maybe a manufacturer's bolt or something came loose here at 2 seconds. Point is, I've never seen a car mirror do something like this all by itself before. Have you? What you are hearing is the heavy breathing of a man who took the lives of 14 people. This message was left on the answering machine of one of his targets during the 70s. It's clear that he's trying to instill as much fear as possible before his next strike. He wants the person and the community at large to know what's going to happen to all of them, and he savors their fear. The message is so over the top that I think most people would have had a hard time believing it was real. But if you ever receive a message like this one, remember that there are people out there who are not fooling around and will hold themselves to their word. These ghost hunters in Texas capture a rare paranormal sighting on their night vision camera. I'm willing to bet you didn't see this on the first try, so I'll tell you where to look. Check out the grassy section and you'll see a small black ball cross the road. They don't see anything else for a while, and then the strange black dot comes back only to disappear again. I was thinking it could be some kind of wildlife until it literally vanishes from sight, which obviously no living creature should be able to do.
Are you aiming down that way? Mm-hmm. Something went across the road. You see that little light thing, that reflector on the left?
Now this may sound far-fetched, but this TikTok will leave you terrified. Shared by TikTok Paranormal and originally posted by Sam, I guess. This young woman was scaring her sister when she herself was scared by a shadow, but not just any shadow.
Hey, let's go get my sister. Hey, Jared, watch out.
Watch for the shadow person here.
What are you doing? Got you, me. Got you. Go, 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 go.
Did you see it?
Oh my Danny. What? Literally, someone just ran in here, I think. Huh? Someone just ran in your room.
Is it an intruder or a paranormal figure? I can't tell for sure, but if this video hasn't made you pee your pants, I don't know what will. This creepy randonautica-led YouTuber Jasko vlogs to Devil's Forest, and he was met with this mysterious call of the wild.
Oh, trying to see if there's any. Bro? What was that?
I don't know what that was, but it sounded afraid. They then find this bizarre shelter.
Alright. Looks like someone built some type of shelter here or something. I don't know. Or maybe it's just...
What is it for? Jasko is right that it's not natural. Shortly after, they feel like they're being followed.
Walking towards us right now. I don't know if it's that same person, but let's get out of here.
While I'm uncertain if they are or not, I do think it's smart to put some distance between them and that mysterious shelter. This YouTuber works in an office building with a reputation for being haunted, so he waits until nighttime to start recording a video for his channel. At 3 a.m. the lights go out at random. Look closely and you'll see a shadowy figure dart across the doorway moments prior. It's still... A short while later, the speakers one room over turn on by themselves and play a haunting melody. Watch his reaction and tell me if you think he's acting surprised or if this really happened by itself.
Well, I think you can time it or something.
No, I can't freaking time it.
Just when things are getting back to normal, the lights cut out again, and this time if you look closely, you'll see a figure with long hair over its face standing in the doorway. When you find a suitcase with a pentagram inside, you should probably let it be. Published by Paranormal Point in February of 2022. While looking at this mysterious collection, Maxim doesn't realize he's standing alongside evil.
Ух, ё. Друзья, я не ошибаюсь. Это же вроде пентаграмма.
Soon the door closes at the end of the hall, and he can't open it.
Ах, черт. Я почему-то не могу ее сейчас открыть.
After he lights the pentagram, things only get stranger from there. When he asks who's there, this is the response.
Кто здесь?
And soon the demon isn't answering any more questions. What is in this basement with Maxim? And will it let him out? UBA is a rapper from Mexico with a fairly popular YouTube channel. Recently, he admitted to the police that he has been working for the New Generation Cartel, which is basically the Mexican mafia. He has taken at least 3 people's lives and even dissolved them in vats of acid. Now police are working hard analyzing his music videos to determine if he has ever confessed to anything else in one of his songs. After all, anyone in the video could be an accomplice, and every lyric or camera shot could be another potential piece of evidence. I watched a lot of his videos for more clues, and the only thing I noticed was how one setting in particular would repeatedly come up. It's always this small wooded area that's by some train tracks. It could just be my imagination, but I can't help but wonder if maybe a 4th body would be found here if police were able to do some investigating in this area. A YouTuber named Yankee Reb travels to the haunted battlefield of Gettysburg, Virginia, and stands before an old battle cannon. He grows very still and records nothing but darkness for a full 20 minutes before any paranormal activity occurs. As the night progresses, a lone soldier silently marches around the cannon and stops just outside of the muzzle, which is where you would stand to reload it.
Holy down by the cannon, you see that?
Oh, what is that?
I say it could be a soldier because, aside from the historic location, I can also kind of make out the old style sash and hat that some soldiers used to wear.
No way. What is that?
I have no idea.
Did you get that on the camera?
It's recording.
Oh my gosh, did you see that?
His attire is most visible at around the 1 minute and 58 second mark, so that's when you can get the clearest and most direct look for yourself. Let me know if you can see what he has on.
Did you, honestly?
I wouldn't believe it unless we recorded it.
Maybe this soldier in particular was accidentally taken out by his own cannon while reloading, which used to happen quite often back those times. A man pulls over and records a video with his camera after hearing a loud screaming that sounded like an animal in distress, or possibly even a person. That's when another horrifying scream comes from the woods.
I'm gonna go check it out.
Jumping around is a yelling humanoid creature that grows quiet and disappears in the tall reeds when it sees it's caught on camera. The man runs to his car and later suspects it could be a rake sighting caught on tape. The noises it makes are disturbing and do kind of sound like other rake sighting videos, so maybe he's right. Here's a still photo of the unknown creature sighting taken at 23 seconds just before it ducks down. Its arms look abnormally long and it's very broad-shouldered too. What do you think? Is this a person or a monster? I'm afraid he could have spotted the rake after all.
YouTuber Don John Averon claims to have captured an unknown humanoid on tape while deep in the woods in 2016. But without more information or evidence, little can be verified in regards to this video's authenticity. But if it's real, then this chilling footage shows Don silently creeping up on an ape-like creature that has tiny legs and a hunched over upper body. The humanoid does not seem to notice him as it casually swings its massive arms while walking. It moves like a human, but apparently has giant sloth-like arms with no fingers. It retreats deeper into the forest and Don doesn't follow.
When Ibtisam and Kevin put a GoPro on their dog, they were never expecting to have so many scary moments caught on tape that they would later question if their house was really haunted. Here's their paranormal evidence. Okay, so at 1 minute and 35 seconds, the dog clearly hears some noises that we can't. Dogs have really good hearing though, so that's not really paranormal proof. The dog goes into the next room and appears to see something, though it's probably just a balloon in the corner that it doesn't recognize. Again, weird, but not necessarily paranormal. However, as soon as it turns around and lets its guard down, a loud, scary noise comes from where it was just looking. Nothing else happens for a while, and the dog gets some sleep. Upon waking up, the dog takes an interest in the living room again, this time investigating under the table instead of in the corner, almost like it's tracking movement. It goes to look out the door. The window appears to be shut when all of a sudden, a creepy scream fills the house. And shortly after, it looks like the dog sees phantom movements across the living room, same as before. The dog is obviously stressed out and can't seem to stay in one place for long. And maybe it's just me, but at 16 minutes and 23 seconds, I definitely see an eerie figure caught on GoPro sitting with her back turned. The owners return home none the wiser, and if you look closely, it looks like the dog runs past them both, simply wanting to bolt out of the door and get away from the possibly haunted home. A gut feeling, a sensation, is almost worse than the reality itself. Say you're alone in the forest, the hair stands up on the back of your neck, you get the sensation that something is watching you. What do? Druid Raven Scout published this video in August of 2015, explaining this very scenario. Well, he packed up his bags to leave the forest. He said he felt something that he couldn't explain, a gut feeling that something or someone was following him. He said he felt threatening sensations as he walked the path over a couple of hours. He had planned on staying in the forest another night, but his intuition was telling him not to. During the 18-minute video, he explains that he feels like he's being observed. He also says he heard something strange up in the trees as he walked the path earlier. He does manage to escape the forest without meeting his stalker, but not without shaking the feeling that something certainly was watching. What's beneath your floorboards? This clip was originally posted by TikTok user Unfortunate Existence. The TikToker was replacing her carpets in her home when she came across a secret trap door captioned, "When you pull the carpet off your floor and find a basement you never knew about." The footage reveals that the secret door led into a secret cellar. Admittedly, the creepiest thing about discovering a hidden room in your home is the question of why that room was kept hidden, but we'll get to that only after we've explored it. The basement is equipped with a set of wooden stairs, so it looks as though its location was known by the past tenant or owner and the basement was used. The TikToker captures her first descent into the secret room on video. There's nothing much in the room but a bucket in one corner, a garbage bag that appears to be empty under the stairs, an old chair and desk behind the stairs, and a disassembled bed frame. There's also a large red liquid splatter on one side of the room, which the TikToker calls a little concerning. She notes that it doesn't smell decent down there. When all appears to be relatively normal, the cellar light suddenly switches on, throwing a wrench into her investigation. Does someone know that she's there? That's more than a little concerning. Jessie Sims and her friend use a Ouija board only to discover they are surrounded by 3 spirits. She claims to get dizzy and asks if it's a good spirit she's talking to. The spirit gives them a negative response, so Jessie fights her panic and asks,
"Is this Zozo?"
The pointer stays over no. It's not Zozo after all. Still, they both have a bad feeling, so they decide to ask,
"What do you want from us?" "Shut up."
"You," the ghost responds. A short while later, Jessie's nose begins to gush red. Thank you so much for getting me to 50,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 60,000 subscribers next. Thank you.